You know all those plastic bottles we toss out every single day? What if we could take that trash and turn it into something amazing, something high-tech? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into, an incredible story of how everyday waste gets a second life as a technological wonder.
In this quote right here, it's not just some fancy academic jargon. It's the whole vision. The idea isn't just about recycling, you see. It's about completely changing how we think about waste. It's about looking at a pile of trash and seeing potential.
So, before we get to the really cool solution, we have to wrap our heads around the problem. And trust me, it is a huge problem, a global one that honestly affects every single one of us.
And here it is, plain and simple. We make a mind-boggling amount of plastic, and a whole lot of it just ends up in the wrong place. It's a one-way street from our recycling bin to a landfill or, even worse, our oceans. It's a dead end.
But what if that dead end could become a loop? Well, that's exactly what a team of brilliant engineering students thought. They looked at this massive problem and cooked up a truly ingenious solution.
Okay, quick timeout. For anyone not familiar, what's 3D printer filament? Super simple. Just think of it like the ink for a 3D printer. It's this long plastic thread that gets melted down and layered bit by bit to create, well, pretty much anything you can imagine.
And that was the mission. Notice the wording here, premium grade. They weren't just trying to recycle plastic, they were aiming to upcycle it. They wanted to take a worthless plastic bottle, that clear PET plastic in most drink containers, and turn it into a high-value product for the tech world.
Now, to pull this off, they couldn't just buy something off the shelf. Nope, they had to build their own custom machine from scratch. So, let's pop the hood and see what makes this thing tick.
All right, so here are the guts of the machine. You've got the extruder, that's the heart of the operation. The temperature controller, which is like the brain. A motor to keep things moving smoothly. A cooling fan to lock it all in place. And a spooler to wrap it all up. Every single piece has a crucial job.
Let's talk about this extruder, because this is where the magic really happens. The best way to think about it is like a super precise, high-tech hot glue gun. It takes in strips of plastic, melts them at the perfect temperature, and then squeezes it out through a tiny nozzle into a perfect, consistent filament strand.
Okay, so we've met the team, we've seen the machine parts, but how does it all come together? Let's walk through the journey of a single plastic bottle as it gets transformed from trash into tech.
The whole thing is actually a beautifully simple four-step dance. First, you cut the bottle into one long, continuous ribbon. Then, you feed that ribbon into the extruder. As it comes out, it's instantly cooled to harden it. And finally, it's wound neatly onto a spool, ready to go. So elegant.
Let's zoom back in on that extrusion step, because the precision here is absolutely key. The plastic has to be heated to about 220 degrees Celsius. If you go too hot, you'll burn it, too cold, and it won't form right. Nailing that temperature is everything if you want high-quality filament. So that's the theory, that's the machine, that's the process, but the million-dollar question is, did it actually work? I mean, really, was the stuff they made any good?
The answer lies right here in this one number, 1.75 millimeters. Now, that might not sound exciting, but in the world of 3D printing, that is the industry standard. The fact that their homemade machine could pump out filament at that exact size, consistently, is a huge win. It means it works with pretty much any standard 3D printer out there.
But what about the quality? Well, check this out. The team's report says their recycled filament had impeccable mechanical properties and that it could rival established commercial counterparts. Just let that sink in. They made a material from trash that's just as good as the brand new stuff you'd buy in a store. That's a game changer.
Look, this is way more than just a cool college project. The implications of this kind of technology are massive. So let's zoom out a bit and think about what this could mean for all of us in the real world.
The possibilities are just wow. Imagine a local library or a school having one of these. Kids could bring in plastic bottles from home and turn them into materials for their science projects. Or small businesses could prototype new inventions without waiting for shipments. We're talking about empowering everyone, from artists to engineers, to build a more sustainable future.
And that's the beautiful bottom line here. This project takes a line from bottle to trash can to landfill and bends it into a perfect circle. A plastic bottle is no longer the end of the line. It's just the beginning of the next chapter. That's the circular economy in action.
And that's the big idea that this whole project leaves us with. It forces us to look at everything we call waste and ask a new question. Not, how do we get rid of this, but what can this become? If a simple plastic bottle can be this, what other amazing resources are we just throwing away? What's next?